All right, welcome back. This is the second video. You'll notice that this is still hanging. It's still the same 700 grams as before. I did that on purpose because I wanted you to see that it's the same spring. All right, because this is something that a lot of students find interesting. So I'm going to remove all the masses that are on here. Okay, and keeping the spring the same. Okay, so no cuts here. I'm not cheating. I'm actually going to change the length of the spring. Okay, so I'm going to take maybe 2/3 of the spring off of here. Okay, and I'm going to hang it from there now. Okay, and so you can see that I took off about 1/3 of the spring here. All right, and so the rest of it is still just hanging there completely normally, just like it did before. I think you should be able to see more pretty well. You can still see where it's hanging to. Okay, I think this is interesting, okay, just because a lot of people say, well, you know, the spring constant, it's going to depend on the material of the spring, and a lot of people think it's the material of the spring and maybe how wide the coils are or something like that, you know. Well, I want you to see what happens. This is the same exact spring. Okay, I haven't changed the coils or anything. You saw at the beginning it was hanging down exactly the same amount with the same mass. Okay, so I haven't changed anything. But let's see what happens when we start to add masses on. I'm not going to go by 50s again just because I think you got the idea now. But I am just kind of holding it so that you can get an initial point there. You can see the spring right up there at the top. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add on. This is the 50. And add on another 50 just so that we've got 100 there. Okay, so this is what we get when it's hanging with 100 grams on there. All right, so 100 grams. Get that measurement. There's another 100. So that's 200 grams. All right, 200 grams. Let's add on another 100. So we're at 300 grams. Now, again, you can see more or less where the spring is hanging down to. It is still going all the way up to the top, but most of that is not really important here. What we're interested in is how far down the extension, right? The change in its position. Okay, so I'm adding on another 100. So we're up to 400 now. We're up to 400. Hopefully you're seeing a difference in the numbers there as you start to kind of work through it. Okay, there's a 500. So that's 500 now. 600. All right, measure that distance. 700. Okay, 700, and then we'll go one more, just because I can, hopefully, if it doesn't fall off on me. Okay, there we go. Oh, nope, that looks like it is going to fall. Maybe we're not going to get one more. All right, so we're just going to go to 750. All right, so there's your 750 right there, and again, you can get that height. All right, so again, what I'd like for you to do is on the x-axis put position, okay, change in position, right, the change from that initial height wherever it was initially, and then on the y-axis we're going to put force, okay, or in this case the weight that's pulling down on it. Okay, once you finish it, I would like for you to do the same thing that you did on the first graph, and hopefully you'll see what difference it makes. All right, recognizing that it's the same spring, I effectively just made it a shorter spring because not the whole thing is stretching now, only the bottom part is stretching. All right, the bottom 2/3. Okay, go for it, and hopefully you'll get some interesting results.